Hello everyone. With the continuation of metabolism of protein part 2, today we will see the catabolism of amino acid. The session is drafted for first MBBS students. So the learning objectives: the learner will be able to explain roles of various tissues in amino acid metabolism, describe transamination and oxidative deamination reactions with significance, and describe various sources of ammonia. So before we start, let us recap the dynamics of the proteins. We have already discussed under digestion and absorption. The dietary proteins are digested and absorbed. So amino acids are circulating in the blood, reached to the cells where utilized for the protein synthesis, will become the part of the functional protein, undergo the degradation by proteasome and the ubiquitin associated mechanisms, further liberation of the amino acids. They are catabolized to give the energy or synthesized to form various other compounds in the form of proteins. So this kind of turnover occurs daily. So now if we see what happens under the fed state. So dietary proteins through the intestine absorb this amino acid to the portal vein, reach to the liver. They will utilize for the synthesis of the proteins, for example albumin, and also important for synthesis of the essential nitrogenous containing compounds. Excess amino acids are utilized for synthesis of triacylglycerol, which are further leave the liver in the form of very low density lipoprotein, and excess amino acid also used for synthesis of glucose, so that glucose is further stored in the form of glycogen, or glucose is released into the blood circulation when there is a condition of hypoglycemia. Then other amino acids are also used for the synthesis of cellular proteins. Now what happens under the fasting state? So most common amino acids liberated from the muscles, the glutamine and alanine. Glutamine is formed by the exception of the ammonia from the glutamic acid to form glutamine, and alanine is derived from the glucose aniline cycle. Since glutamine enters into the kidney, is converted to the ammonia and alanine. Ammonia is excreted through the urine. This alanine enters into the liver. Glutamine from the intestine also degraded to form alanine. Alanine and other amino acids reach to the liver. Their ammonia is converted to the urea and it is excreted through the urine, or else its carbon skeletons helps to form ketone bodies and glucose, which are further utilized by the various organs. Glucose is utilized by brain and red blood cells, and ketone bodies are used by the muscles and the kidney. So the removal of the nitrogen from amino acids considered as the first step in the catabolism of amino acid, which takes place inside the liver, and it is considered as an obligatory step in the catabolism. If you look the structure of amino acids, you can see here this alpha amino group prevents the oxidative breakdown. So removal of this amino group is required. After removal of this alpha amino group, further these carbons are utilized for energy purpose. So the most common reactions which removes this alpha amino group is called transamination reaction, where the alpha amino group is funneled to form a glutamic acid. So if we look the reaction how transamination takes place, transamination means amino group of one amino acid transferred to another alpha keto acid so as to convert it into the one alpha amino acid and another form alpha keto acid. So here you can see highlighted amino group is received by the alpha ketoglutarate, so the alpha ketoglutarate is converted to form alpha L glutamic acid. You can see the amino group is from this amino acid, now it is formed the glutamic acid. The enzyme which catalyzes this reaction is called aminotransferase or transaminases. The reaction takes place inside the cytosol and the mitochondria of cells throughout the body. The two types of the aminotransferases are alanine aminotransferase and aspartate aminotransferase. Alanine aminotransferase is also called SGPT, serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase, and aspartate aminotransferase is also called serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminase. So this reaction is catalyzed by the alanine aminotransferase, where alanine is converted to the pyruvic acid. Now if we look the aspartate aminotransferase reactions, where there is transamination of the glutamic acid, which transfer its amino group to the oxaloacetate so as to form a new aspartic acid, which enters into the urea cycle and its amino group is liberated. Here an important aspects of the transamination is it helps in the synthesis of non-essential amino acids in our body. Another important aspect is the coenzyme here for transaminases is pyridoxal phosphate, that is also called vitamin B6, that is pyridoxine. So role of vitamin B6 here is, you can see the aldehyde group derivative, that is pyridoxal phosphate aldehyde group receives the amino group intermediates so as to form pyridoxamine phosphate, and after that this amino group is further received by the another alpha keto acid. So this is the importance of vitamin B6 in transamination reactions. Another reactions which directly remove the amino group from the alpha amino acid, that is trans deamination reactions. It is also called transamination followed by oxidative deamination. So this is the reaction that we already seen, that is transamination occurs in all the tissues so as to form glutamic acids. Now glutamic acid acted upon by one important enzyme present only in the liver, that is glutamate dehydrogenase, which utilize both NAD plus or NADP plus as a coenzyme so as to convert the glutamic acid into the alpha ketoglutarate, and here you can see ammonia is directly liberated here. That's why the reaction is called trans deamination. So if we look into this diagram, this is just a revision of transamination reaction, where amino acid alpha amino group is received by the alpha ketoglutarate to form glutamic acid. This glutamic acid is oxidatively deaminated to liberate the ammonia, which is excreted in the form of urea or uric acid. Now another important source for the ammonia is in the muscle and in the other tissues, where when the ammonia is formed, immediately it is captured or received by the glutamic acid to form glutamine. How this reaction occurs? So glutamic acid receives the ammonia with the help of the enzyme glutamine synthetase, which utilize the adenosine triphosphate so as to form the glutamine, and glutamine is the transport form of ammonia in the bloodstream. So when it reaches to the liver, and the liver mitochondria, the enzyme glutaminase acted on the glutamine and to form a glutamic acid. So ammonia is liberated, excreted in the form of urine. Another important source for ammonia is from the muscle in the form of alanine, and this alanine is important aspect of the glucose alanine cycles. This alanine enters into the liver, undergo transamination to form pyruvate and further glutamic acid. Another enzymes which also forms the ammonia, that is L-amino acid oxidase, which acted on the L-amino acid. This is the minor reaction or the minor pathways. So this enzyme L-amino acid oxidase is FMN dependent enzyme, that is flavin mononucleotide. In the presence of the oxygen, this reaction takes place so as to here you can see ammonia is liberated, which enters into the liver for further excretion in the form of urea. Another enzymes which also form the ammonia, that is monoamine oxidase, which acted on the norepinephrine. Here you can see this reaction. This monoamine oxidase is also FAD dependent enzyme. So FAD is converted to FADH2 in this reaction, and ammonia is liberated from the norepinephrine, and this further enters into the liver for further excretion in the form of urea. So you can collectively see the sources of ammonia. We have seen the transamination reactions and oxidative deamination. Okay, then the formation of the glutamine, then acted by the glutaminase to form glutamic acid. Asparagine acted by the asparaginase to form aspartate, which also gives the ammonia into the urea cycle. Another important source is the bacterial action on the intestine, which is also form the ammonia. Serine and threonine, these two amino acids are the exception to the transamination reaction because they are under the dehydrolytic deamination. Directly amino group is removed, and here also the pyridoxine acts as a coenzyme. Histidine is directly deaminated to form urocanic acid. Other sources are purine nucleotide cycles, both in brain and muscles, will liberate the ammonia and further excreted in the form of urea. So, in a nutshell, the catabolism amino acids start with the first reaction is the transamination reactions, while the alpha amino group is received by the alpha ketoglutarate to form glutamic acid, further undergo the oxidative deamination by the glutamate dehydrogenase to form ammonia, which is enters into the urea cycle or into the liver and form the urea, which is excreted through the urine. Another intermediate important is the aspartate, which is formed by the transamination reaction of the glutamic acid with the help of oxaloacetate. And other reaction we have already seen previously that will also give the ammonia, which is further entered into the liver to be excreted in the form of urea. These are my references for this session. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe to my channel and click the ring bell button to get all the notifications. Thank you all.